call animal control to order. I think the first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes, which everybody's got minutes in their hand.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right, minutes have been approved. Next, I know we've got some people in the audience here. Does anybody have any public comment for animal control?
No, I don't understand why public comments are before you have the meeting. We don't really know the agenda to have any comments.
So it's
It
published?
doesn't have to be on the agenda for you to say anything.
Okay, that's fair, but
Yeah.
like, even if we want to say something nice or something extra, like, I'm like, we're always just here to listen and then, like,
Well, I can tell you what, we're never gonna stop you from saying something nice.
Maybe comment at the end.
that's why I was always curious, like, could you do a comment at the end, like, like before you close?
Especially if there's questions or.
Because sometimes, like, the agenda, but then, like, as you discuss things, like, maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
knowing the agenda doesn't mean we actually,
Right. Well, so I know at least with committees, we're usually pretty loose with comments, and we'll even, depending upon what it is, yeah, exactly. Raise your hand, and I mean, we'll take comments even from people who are not on commission and things for committees, and the main commission meeting's a little more structured, but these are usually a little more loose if you guys have things to say. So, just let me
Fair
know.
enough, right.
So, all right, can I close public comment at this point? And then if there is comment as we discussed, then we'll entertain it at that point. We good? All right, I'm gonna close public comment, so we'll move on to the director's report. Mr. Gatlin.
All right, you have a report in front of you. We have been busy. We are full into puppy season now, and so I wanted to let you guys know if you need a puppy. Be happy to set you up with one because I got plenty. We haven't published our dates yet, but expect to see our adoption trailer out a lot in the next few weeks. As these puppies come online and get past their point where they're adoptable and have their shots and everything, we're going to get that trailer out and try to get them moved on. We've had a couple of big cases that we worked on, and so we brought a lot of dogs in. Calls are definitely up, so and I think that's all I got.
All right, does anybody have any questions about the director's report?
Motion to approve.
All right, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right. Moving on. So I think the next thing is to continue our discussion on the animal control building. So I know last meeting we made a motion and approved purchasing the roads building for $1.5 million. So what you have in your hand, there's multiple budget amendments, but they all kind of go together. So I guess we'll start with Steve. Do you want to go ahead and, Steve's kind of got some plans.
I'm going to hand out another sample plan. We've kind of refined this a little bit. I have a budget attached to it, and I'm going to explain how I got to the numbers that I got to on there. And I'm still working with DLI. He's been good to work with and helped me out on several things here. So I got some papers to cooperate. So.
Oh, you're so kind, thank you.
So what we did, we arrived at a number last time which was pretty high. And in our discussions, we kind of gathered what we felt like we were comfortable with, what the county could do at this point, and what we need at this point. And so we came up, I listened to everybody, and we've come up with another plan here. And what we've done is reduced the square footage of the new addition and put some of the things we need in the old building. We eliminated the public multi-purpose room and moved some of our utility space in there. As you see on this plan where it says utility, that is dish, food prep, and laundry. You don't see any walls in there because we'd have to work a little bit on exactly where we're going to put a wall or this, that, and the other. This is not a build-by plan. This is a concept right now and showing you that it is possible to do this addition and come out with this. Now what this shows us with 33 healthy dogs, 5 intake dogs, and it says dog adoption down there, but that's an intake area. So that gives us 38 total, and we would actually we've got a couple of cage banks and a couple of things that we would add to the building. The isolation area in the clinic room, should we need some of that. And we've got these utility areas in the storage area. Should something happen and we needed to really expand for an emergency, we could do that. Also, these are all back-to-back kennels. In an emergency, we could half those and basically effectively double our capacity just by doing that. So not what we want to do, and that's not the ideal situation, but that would give us that option. Gives us a total square footage of 8,814. What I did was take DLI's numbers and kind of recrunched them here. A 4,341 square foot addition at $474 a square foot, which we believe is a high number. We've made a lot of phone calls, we've talked to a lot of people, and we feel like that is on the high end, but I think that's what you have to do because we can't be under on these. That's $2,043,414. Complete renovation of 1,332 square feet of the existing building. When I say complete, we'll have to cut some holes in the walls, we have to take ceiling down, we have to replace the heat and air unit on that portion of the building. We have to saw cut a few places in the floor, bring plumbing in, and we've estimated that at $137 a square foot for that reno. The remainder of the building and roof on the total of the existing building, we put in a budget of $100,000. We got a price of $42,000 to fix the roof. The rest of that is going to be paint, floor covering, any upgrades that we feel like we need at that time. We have to move some air conditioning units. Should we get in there and mess something up, it's got a little bit of extra in there for that. That also includes a little bit for fencing. You see in here play yards, $23,400 is part of our program that we use now. Those are an important part of what we do, and it's important that we include those. We are working on getting donations to augment some of those things, and play yards would be one of the first places that we would try to put those donations. We put a healthy number in for professional services, $203,598. We may actually shave some of that because if we use a pre-engineered steel building, those companies will provide some engineering and architectural services as part of their package, and so that would reduce some of those costs up front. It also reduced construction time, and we feel like that budget-wise, that's probably the direction we're going to go. We still do want to, at this point, we want to do a masonry exterior, so we have brick that matches the current building, and similar architectural facade, basically the flat roof, and make it look like the building that it's attaching to keep that going. We've eliminated the sally port, but that area would be fenced and secure in case a dog gets loose during transfer, and we put an awning in there. We feel like works perfectly for our needs. I don't have an issue with doing that at all. You know, that's not a big sacrifice. I need a heated and cooled area to store dog food. We're pretty fortunate here. We get a lot of donations, and so I need plenty of room for that, and that's included in this plan. All of these costs I pulled off of what DLI prepared for us and just redid the square footage numbers. Also talked to him extensively about this and about places we could shave. We did put a contingency of $400,000 just in case. So the markets are strange. Tariffs go into place, and we're buying a lot of stainless steel. And so, you know, right now, all these cage and kennel systems are in the $100,000 range. They could be in the $150,000 range in 2 weeks. So we felt like we needed to put that in there. Plus, talking about a steel structure here as well. So that and concrete, we all know that's going up. So that's how I came out with that. Anybody got any questions on that?
I think it looks really good. Thank you for all your work. I know that we've been through multiple iterations, and you've been right in the middle of.
So we have, one last thing, we are not married to Design Learned Incorporated at this point. They have fulfilled their obligation to us. He did this extra drawing for me. They just put it through CAD and spit that out. I don't think they had a lot of cost in that. They did that for free. They've done this in his suggestion. he said if you set a number and work backwards, that's kind of how we do a lot of government projects, was his words. And so I feel like he is on the same page with us. I do like the fact that he is an expert in this field. That makes me much more comfortable. I don't want to have to come back and say, hey, I messed up. And so I feel like this is a guy that keeps me from saying that. That's why I like dealing with these folks. I do think they're expensive, I do. But I think from my perspective, it's money well spent, so.
This area right here where it says awning,
Yes, sir.
how do you get into the building from there?
So it's not drawn on there. You see a door just to the right of that. That's an existing door. Along that wall where that awning attaches, I would like to put in a 6 foot wide, at least 6 foot wide door. I'd like to be able to bring a pallet jack in and out. I think we save backs by doing that and be able to get material in and out. She did not draw that on there. We talked about it, and when I submitted my part to them, I didn't have it drawn in there, but that would be, if y'all say this is what we want to do, then we will get further in depth into how many square feet is this and how many square feet is that and where these exact rooms and walls are. I definitely want a larger door in there, and I would like, there's other places that I don't want a door and places I do want a door that are on here. So those things would change a little bit, but this gives you a good idea of the basic drawing.
That makes sense. So you'd put a door like right here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if you put this over here instead of there, then you had a door to get in and out of. But if you're wanting that,
that's the warehouse space. That's where freezers would be, and also where we would put, and also the clinic room is in there. So dogs coming in would go in this way. Utility things coming in, deliveries and things would go in that way. So I'd like to put a big door right there. Plus, then we could unload in the room.
Anybody else have any comments or questions about the plan? Anybody from the audience have a question?
No, I
Yes,
really
ma'am.
just wanted to point out one more real benefit of this plan.
Mhm.
Seeing that the kennels are actually subdivided into 3 separate cubicles. If you ever have an outbreak of any type of illness, you can segregate it. And that's not really noted, because it just says adoption, but for ones of us that have to focus on disease prevention, and I'm sure the vet here would be able to say that, like, if you get parvo or kennel cough or anything, you can keep it in one spot, and you can keep your other animals healthy. So to me, that's another positive to your current model versus this model.
And all 3 of those, or all 4 of those areas have their own separate heat and air, their own ventilation, and they cycle differently than the rest of the building. They turn over air a lot more frequently, have dehumidification and all that in there. Another thing I would point out, I prescribe, you hear me talk about best practices a lot, and I prescribe a lot to what Dr. Pisano from the University of Florida says, and she would really like this because she wants dogs under quarantine to be available to be viewed by the public. And I heard her have that argument with the people from Williamson County, because theirs are not, and this will be where they will be able to view by the public. So it's, I think even the experts in the country would say this is a really good design.
All right.
Okay, the first resolution though, we're just talking about the existing building, right?
Correct.
That is correct, yeah.
I make a motion that we move forward in purchasing the old road commission building for $1.5 million to be paid in $500,000 increments over the next 3 years.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Uh,
Aye. All right. So the next resolution is to approve and go and allocate the $500,000 for the first year payment. So you take a look, that's what this is. So it's got the budget amendment request form behind it. So it would come, $500,000 would come out of 189 to go directly to roads for that first year payment is what this is.
I have those together. I'm assuming that's how we would do those, Mike. But the resolution. Yeah.
Okay. May I entertain a motion?
Okay, you were gonna have to make a motion, sorry.
There's only 3 of us. All right,
Second.
all right. All those in favor? Aye. All right. Okay, so that's the current building. Okay, so the next budget amendment is to actually allocate or allow us to bid out for the addition not to exceed $3 million in total. There is a budget amendment attached to it, and what it is for, it's to allocate $250,000 from 189 to cover architectural fees. So effectively what it is, it's a request to transfer funds for design fees to be able to bid out the project. And this $250,000 is part of the total cost of the animal control addition, which is not to exceed $3 million.
I'm sorry, I didn't distribute it probably. That's my-
Well, I mean,
I think that was me. I hadn't gotten an update, so.
Okay.
This is the update.
But that will, you can put that one with the budget amendment, I think that'll cover it.
Okay,
If it doesn't,
Yeah.
we'll fix it.
That's, I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's okay.
It is.
okay,
Okay.
perfect. Okay, well, so substitute that
That give you all one?
amendment then, or at least substitute the resolution to go with that budget amendment. So that's the way to make sure that we're actually covered, because, I mean, I fully hope that if the county commission passes this, that we're gonna move forward and actually building the building, but this allows us to pay for the design fees that are required before we can bid it out, because we have to have all those design documents before we can bid. So that's what this $250,000 allocates into a spendable line, is to cover that. And again, the $250,000 is included in the $3 million.
Okay, at this point in time, would the company that you've been talking to be the one to do this?
That would be my choice.
It's supposed to be costs.
But now, I don't know if I'm the one who gets to make that decision or not. I think that once this is approved, I think that at some point we sit down, I think the mayor is ultimately in charge of building buildings, is that correct? And so I think at some point we sit down, and maybe I'll make that argument to him, but I think that's for him to decide. Is that how you see it?
Had a side conversation with Mike just a little bit. Could you please repeat? I apologize.
So how do we decide how this $250,000?
Yeah.
I've been dealing with DLI, that's who's done this initial stuff, but we're
Right.
not obligated to them. How do we decide, or who gets to decide if that's who we're gonna use? Would be my choice and my recommendation, but
We'll double check it with the mayor, but again, these are professional services as far as, engineering, architecture.
Yeah.
We can work with who we choose, and if that's who we feel comfortable with, then that's who we should.
so I think what I would do, to answer your question, in order to advise the mayor, I think I would have to do my due diligence. We've got a price from DLI, I think I would have to contact someone else and go to him and say, we could use a local company. Maybe they don't have as much experience in this, but maybe they cost a little less, and maybe give him some options and let him decide from there.
Generally speaking, most of your architecture firms are basically the same when it comes to, I'm pulling a number out of the air because from memory, I don't remember what it is, but 5% of construction costs.
Right.
That's our charge for design.
So the thing about it is this company is not just architecture, they're engineering architecture, they're purchasing assistants, they're a whole bunch more than just an architecture. So if we chose a local firm, then we would break those up into individual tasks.
Professional services is supposed to be based on qualifications, not actually the dollar amount.
Right.
You don't have to bid that, so whoever you're gonna sue, whether it be you, Steve, or Aaron, or the mayor, or whatever, you probably ought to get about 3 to send their qualifications in, including DLI,
Right.
so that the decision you make is substantiated by what they see.
Yeah, and I think that would be what
That's
we
what
would
we
want
talked
to
about,
do.
that.
The thing is that DLI already knows what's needed in there.
Yeah.
And for us to bounce it off of a couple of other companies, we're gonna have to be able to communicate with them what is expected in that building.
Don't ask for bids, ask for professional qualification.
Okay.
Have you built an animal control facility before? If not, what's the closest thing you built, that type of thing. But then you can talk about price.
Okay.
Because you don't have to base those on on money. Now, when you get ready to construct the building, that of course is on low bid.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
So I think the idea with this was to just authorize us to be able to bid out up to $3 million, the $250,000 to be able to pay for professional services, and it may not be that much. I think we actually, honestly, I think we estimated high, but I wanted to make sure that we were covered just in case. But again, that $250,000 is inclusive, it's inside that $3 million. And then what'll happen is that once this hopefully passes all the way through the commission, that gives us the authority to go ahead and contract with all the professional services organizations that we need to for getting the design documents put together, get that taken care of, and then we can put it out to bid. Once we have a bid, then we can come back with that final bid, and then it'll come back through this committee, I think, and then back up through budget as to if we want, how we want to actually finance it, if we want to try to pay, you know, out of capital projects, if we want to do a capital outlay note. I mean, even if you wanted to do, I don't think we want to do bonds, but I mean, I guess you could do a capital outlay note through 151 if you wanted to, as opposed to 189.
Well, we'll
So,
let
but
budget
that'll be
figure that
next.
out.
Right,
Okay, I'll make a
So
motion to
that's-
approve this.
all right. Yep.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right. I think we have one last thing,
This one's yours.
and this is budget amendment. Do you want to explain the tag machine?
Yeah, this is just a transfer from our Gretchen Wilson Fund, which is donations. We put everything in Gretchen Wilson, so if somebody donates $20 today just to help out animal control, it goes into the Gretchen Wilson Fund. As part of our community outreach, you know, we put the trailer out, we do lots of things, and we do events. We've got some others planned this summer. One of the things that we want to be able to do is we're going to buy a tag machine, and it basically makes really nice dog tags, okay? And this is the whole outfit. It is kind of expensive, but this thing is portable and warranted, and it's considered the best one to get. I've researched them. We want to use that at community outreach events and be able to do that. I feel like that we're not going to charge people for it, but I feel like we'll get donations from it, and it fits in well with our strategy. Dogs that have tags on, they're current. When they get away and animal control finds them, we get them home. And that's a dog that doesn't come through the front door. It's a dog that doesn't cost the county any money. I feel like if we market this right, when we do these community outreach things, we get lots of benefit, and I think that eventually that will get paid back through donations as we do these. So I just think it's money well spent all the way around.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right. Does anybody else have any old business? Do we have any new business?
Anybody got anything they want to say now?
Yeah.
We're at the
Any
end.
comments?
We're at the
Go
end.
team.
That's right.
I want to thank the Mike for clarifying that, like, it's not a money conversation, it's a what are their expertise conversation. Because that was where I was going to jump in again. Because like you said, DLI, there's only a handful of places that actually truly have the expertise that they have. So I was like, are you guys going to go to those experts and ask them?
Yeah.
But like locally, like you said, if Mike, you know, says it's not about the cost at that point because it's their specialty, it's about what's their actual, you know, area of expertise. So then that gives some distinction to DLI.
Yeah.
Or maybe other people in the area, but
Yeah.
I just think that's a good point, that it's not about dollars at that point, it's about the actual service.
Yeah.
Great. All right, does anybody have anything else? Nope. All right, one more motion. Motion to adjourn.